Grow your freedom.
Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. I tell you what, we have had one heck of a road to get to where we're at now. And I want to take you back very briefly in history. There was a point in the Revolutionary War where General Washington could have quit. He could have walked. There was a point, and he didn't. There was a time when the army, the Continental Army that was fighting the greatest army of all time, the British, when they could have walked away, given up, deserted, and they didn't. This time was Valley Forge. Read your history books, folks. It was a very difficult time. It's not like today where you can get medical attention, where you can get good food. They were freezing and they were starving, but they made it through the winter and they fought and they won. What is it that the World Economic Forum, the globalists, what is it that Democrats and socialist governments around the world are doing right now? They're trying to freeze us out and they want to starve us out. And that's precisely what they're doing. Folks, German cities are turning off hot water and they're cutting lighting at government buildings. Understand, folks, World War II, cities turned off their lights so bombers couldn't target them. Right? During a war where things are being bombed, they had electricity and lots of it, but they would turn their lights off intentionally. Almost 100 years later in Germany, they're turning off their lights because government officials are so corrupt and incompetent, there isn't enough electricity and there's not enough hot water. Almost 100 years later, no war, there's no bombing going on. Ask yourself why? Why are they doing this? I think that is a very important question to ask. Folks, in Washington, D.C., the mayor calls for the National Guard because they indefinitely, meaning they don't know when this is going to end, they indefinitely need help with 4,000 bust-in migrants. Well, they're illegal immigrants that Joe Biden let in, number one. They're not migrants, they're illegal immigrants. So we get more incompetency and also flat-out hypocrisy. Folks, the mayor of Washington, D.C. is a screaming liberal socialist scumbag. Democrat policy, Joe Biden, is who let them in. Oh, so millions of illegals flood the country, and they are taking our food, taking our electricity, taking our wealth, our social services, our medical services. But Texas and Arizona and a few other states want to bus those that they can capture up to Washington, D.C., and then Washington, D.C. cries that they're having a hardship. They're on the tipping point. Folks, what is 4,000 compared to 4 million? It's 1,000 times greater, and it's pouring into California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. 1,000 times, and D.C. can't handle 4,000 while the country deals with millions, and it hasn't stopped. There isn't a number where they stop, folks. They want hardship for you. Hardship for you. Now, understand this. We are suffering in a recession, and the government, the federal government, is denying it's going on. They're saying it's not a recession, even though the textbook definition from the Biden administration back in 2008 was 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth, negative GDP is a recession. No. The White House, Biden, met with a bunch of CEOs and he badgered them and beat on them, I guess. And they finally said, yeah, things are fine. Things are fine. Whatever, old man. The White House has resorted to the economy is doing great because it's not famine. That's their defense, folks. The economy's great because we're not starving. Well, how about this? We're not starving yet. We're not starving yet. They didn't put in the word yet. We're just not starving. Yet. Now, where am I going with all this? Famine, hardship, freezing, Valley Forge, a war for freedom and liberty. The UN published a real article, folks, and then they took it down because it got so much publicity and so much public outrage. They took it down. It was a real article. They called it satire. That's a bald-faced lie. And they have since been denying and hiding from this lie, folks. The article remained on the United Nations. That's the international organization, folks, that now has direct connections to the World Economic Forum, direct administrative connections. They're now partners with the World Economic Forum. Are they the good guys or the bad guys? Well, if you're German and you aren't getting hot water, you may not be so happy. If you're German and you're not getting your electricity, you may not be so happy with them. Well, if you're a citizen of the world, how about Pakistan, Libya, Syria? How about Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Southeast Asia? How about Central and South American nations that are being just squeezed with these high prices? And what is the World Economic Forum's answer? Eating bugs. They're continuing to push the bugs, folks. The article remained on the UN website. The article that said there's benefits to world hunger, to famine. These are bureaucratic, central planning scum, folks. It stayed up there for a day, and then it was deleted because it went viral in social media. People were horrified at this unbelievable evil that was pronouncing itself. Predictive programming, you bet. Pure evil, no doubt. Right? The good thing is, folks, is that they are telling us with their predictive programming. More and more people are waking up from their trance right now. That's why in the Netherlands they're protesting, in Italy they're protesting, in Germany they're protesting. Folks, in Poland they're protesting. Around the world they're protesting, not just in Europe. Pakistan, I named all the countries that are protesting. There's well over 30, folks, 30 nations, right? And once awake, folks, people realize the incredible danger they're in. Once they wake up, that's what being a prepper is. You have woken up. You see it with clear eyes. And it's a good thing because you can't fight an enemy until you understand that one exists, and you can't fight them until you realize that you are the target. And that's exactly what we're facing, folks. We are the targets of a war on us. They want us beat down, tired, sick, dead, out of the game. They don't want us to know that they're the ones causing it. They want us to pretend like it's our government and its policy, and there's a climate emergency, so we must do these things. Back to Valley Forge. The British were counting on the winters, the very harsh New England winters, and they were harsher back then, folks, because they were in what was known as the Little Ice Age. That's right, climate change was going on, folks. It was much colder. And they were counting on the men of America to fail. They were counting on the men and women who supported the army to fail. They counted on the human spirit to fail. They didn't just try starving the army, folks. They tried starving the people of colonial America by blockading their ports and not allowing food and supplies in or out. That's what the world leaders, and at that time, folks, jolly old, lovable English King George, and he was neither of those things, right? He was trying to defeat them with freezing and famine. It's SHTF, folks. They're in the process of creating the situation whereby we will starve. They're going to try and starve us out and feed us bugs. We don't have to take this shit. As a prepper, you have a choice right now. You can continue to believe everything will be fine. And this is just what? It's just an accident. It's nothing. It's not a big deal. Everything's fine. It's America. We've never seen anything like this before. No, we haven't, folks. Well, not since 1776. They're very serious, folks. When national policy is no fertilizer in the Netherlands, Ireland, Canada, train wrecks, folks, they've wrecked trains full of fertilizer. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Until you realize that fertilizer is what they're trying to get rid of. How many food processing, storage, manufacturing plants have burned? Dozens, folks. Dozens. You need to be prepared. Yeah, we don't have a food problem yet. Just like Biden said, the economy is doing great because it's not famine. Not yet. Are you going to wait till it's famine until you get prepared? Are you going to wait until you're freezing cold with no electricity before you do something? Or are you going to get prepared today? And then understand, folks, this is a fight. It's not an accident. This is trying to defeat us through attrition, death, and disease. Whether it's the Jim Jones juice or the food issue, they're doing it intentionally. I pray you get prepared now. There's very little choice in all of this, folks. We don't have a choice as to whether or not you want to participate. It's happening to all of us. It's not which country is and isn't. It's all nations. The United Nations thinks that, well, there's benefits to famine. Chance favors the prepared mind. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for your donations through CashApp, PayPal, donations on YouTube, everything. You guys have been great. You're keeping us stocked with Spam and tuna fish. And I really appreciate that. Helps us do our jobs here, folks. There's an entire network out there in the world. And you're feeding us information. And you're making sure that we're well kept so that we can continue this fight. All of us need to be in it, folks. You need to be in it to win it, or, well, put your head back in the sand. I'll see you for the Friday free-for-all tonight on subscribestar.com and at thepreparedmind.club, where you can, for just $2 a month, sign up 7 cents a day, and I want to see you there. So sign up. For those of you on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the thumbs up button so YouTube knows this is good content. And share, folks. Share the internet address with people so they can find this information also. I don't want famine and freezing, folks. The government does. So get prepared. Godspeed. God bless America. Semper Fi.